Good afternoon. This is the Great Northern Instore Holiday Retail Insights webinar. We'll get started in a minute or so after a few others get logged in. Good afternoon again. I am Dan Sabinosh. Welcome to Great Northern Instore's webinar on Holiday Retail Insights. As a few final people log in, I'll give a brief introduction just to get us started. First, Great Northern Instore is a design and manufacturer of in-store displays and merchandising vehicles ranging from temporary to permanent. And just to start off with, our mission is to help our customers win by doing what others can't or won't. Kind of excited to it springboards us into things like these audits and webinars that help our customers and you all on the line understand what's going on in the retail marketplace and landscape. So a little bit of technical things with the webinar. Definitely please ask questions. There is a question box in the GoToWebinar tool, so please, as they come up, pop them in. The webinar will last about 40 minutes of me discussing our findings and then enable us to answer any questions at the back end for 5 or so minutes if we have some questions to answer. So please take advantage of that. And with that, we'll dive in a little bit into what we saw. And here's kind of what we'll talk about is a little bit of an overview. And as those that have been on these in the past, I utilize a few different sources to kind of highlight what's going on with the particular season or category and holiday. This time through, I leaned a lot on some Deloitte research where they surveyed shoppers in the fall time just ahead of the holiday season. And NRF does a similar survey too, where I have a few snippets from them and some data from those surveys that kind of helps create a framework for us to engage with and then dive into some key topics. One is all about gifting, to highlight some key categories in the at this time of year. All about shopper experience. It's something I know I talk about a lot, but very critical. Value. Shoppers and anyone always wants some sort of value, so we'll highlight that, and as well, and finally ending on inspiration. So we'll dive into and start off with first the overview of what we saw for the season. And just as a top line for everybody on the webinar, holiday is a huge season for retailers and for everybody. It touches 126 million U.S. households and is about 1/4 of all retail sales in the year. This is coming from Retail Dive. And no one should be surprised with this, but spending follows confidence. And some numbers from Deloitte as far as the trends from 2009, the recession, all the way through to where we are now in 2018. Households, nice steady line up in terms of households that feel they're off that they're better off than the prior year, nearing 50% this year. And similarly, trend lines showing the households that are going to spend the same or more on holiday going up. And obviously with a variety of key economic indicators in the fall and through holiday season looking strong, leads right into this to have a great holiday season. And sure enough, some data from, again, Retail Dive, and it's been from a variety of sources, that this year was a great holiday season for all. MasterCard Spending Pulse report that was published out just at the very beginning of this year showed 5.1% sales increase, and overall the size of the pie was $850 billion, the highest sales in 6 years. So big time. And in terms of us getting out into the marketplace and really looking at this in this what proved to be a very successful holiday season, we had over 90 audits, which are performed by our own team, which is national in scope, where we have sales offices across the country, as well as some design teams across the country as well that go out and audit. You see the states highlighted in yellow, where we touched on 10 states, hit 40 retailers, and we saw and observed over 800 unique activations. So a pretty extensive, one of our most extensive audits, as we've gotten this accomplished more efficiently. So again, proud and pleased to share this with you on the webinar today. So starting off with gifting, you know, we talked about this big size of the pie. Another stat here from Deloitte is it is about a little over $1,500 in household spend. And how does this break out? Well, about a third of it is the gifting, obviously key, and we'll dive into a few of those categories that are out there. The biggest area that's spent on is experiences, and is that entertaining at home, all the festive food, beverages, etc., or is it socializing away from home, that are all part of the biggest part of what shoppers are spending on, really much in line with, we know that definitely the millennials and younger generations like to spend and like experiences. And then finally, there's about a quarter of the purchases are on non-gift purchases, clothing, holiday home furnishings, or other. And we'll kind of touch a little bit on all of those, but primarily we're going to hit gifting and some of the experience, some of the food, beverage items that we saw at retail that were brought to life in the channels that we audited. So I'm going to start off with toys, big category, particularly around the holiday time frame, one that is really huge. And obviously it's experienced a big shakeup in 2018 since Toys R Us shuttered its doors. So we saw a lot of the mass retailers, Walmart particularly, going out there and very clearly claiming they're America's best toy shop, whether that was on the overhead signs as pictured here or throughout the signage that they used in their store to really highlight that. And they went big. You know, it wasn't just the signage around the entrance or the department itself, but utilizing these big, bold statements, this huge Fortnite train that's 4 pallets long, shaped like a big bus, curves, bumped out headers, lug-ons, etc., that really pop in the aisle. Another one, big movie license, Bumblebee out there. So again, the larger-than-life, dimensional piece that just stops someone in their tracks as they're walking down Action Alley, and obviously the bright yellow color as well, providing that attention-grabbing stopping power. And Target too. Target always does toys very nicely, but this year, boy, doing a lot of pieces that even were right in Action Alley as well, which is normally kept clean and neat. So definitely, again, the Fortnite half pallet there right in the middle of Action Alley with a variety of toys. The Lego unit on the right, that, again, actually was on wheels, so we saw that in some stores right in Action Alley in the toy department, sometimes pushed closer into an aisle, or even right near the checkout for those impulse purchases as you're leaving the store. And then as well at Target, they've been doing more and more side caps that have been branded, but really this year saw that really explode into a host of variety. Again, allowing the brands to do what they like. Here's this cool Party Pop Teenies, which is really bright, vibrant, branded, and kind of a cool way to house their cylindrical product, all in those nice holsters to really bring that brand to life in a unique way. And it wasn't just the mass stores going all out. We saw toys making a big presence across the variety of different stores to really try to snap up those sales that they weren't going to be seeing at Toys R Us any longer. These are all depicted in Barnes & Noble, obviously a channel which is hugely competitive and going against the Amazons of the world and online. Barnes & Noble with its brick and mortar making a big play in the toy area, whether that's with Harry Potter, with obviously the movie that was out here in holiday time frame, Hatchimals, a popular toy, or even Lego with a temporary display with a diorama on top, with all with the kits all built out in their high-end architecture series. Best Buy, the place for electronics and appliances, also now get your toys here. People are going to that store for gifts, so why not also merchandise toys, another gift item there. So definitely see Nerf getting into it with, again, freestanding floor displays on their rival, fully branded end caps right there in Best Buy, and as well as Barbie, selling their products there at Best Buy. So again, finding those places and different places to really increase sales. And then moving into another popular area to look at gifting, some of the consumer electronics companies, just kind of neat to see they really follow some of the great examples of a gifting motif. So here's Brother in an Office Depot chain with, again, the merchandising done in these gift boxes that end up being the shelves for the product. So kind of a nice, unique activation that really stands out of really signals great gift item. And then here's a Google floor stand at Target. Again, a nice, clean, simple floor stand, rectangular structure, but just wrapping it graphically with the bow and putting the bow right on top that makes this whole activation in a simple way come to life as a great gift for your loved ones. And then showing a few examples, the number one gift item now in the U.S., according to Deloitte, although there's also a few other studies that show the same, are now gift cards. They've risen to the number one spot. They are, on average, people spend $139 on gift cards, which is up from 2017, and it's been something that has grown 10 percentage points in the last 5 years. So huge growth here in gift cards, and the merchandising as well has come a long way, whether that is here again in the mass stores, the big box. The two examples on the left are in Walmart, whether it's this kind of cool activation that looks like gift boxes at different sizes and heights to provide that visual interest, as well as providing spots then on top to provide the branding for those products that have gift cards on this activation. The center one is just done nicely as a whole gift with a huge bow on top. That just clearly calls out gift cards, and they're obviously just maximizing the space on this activation. And then finally, the one on the left is Target, which again, utilizing some of the space and angles to further get that extra row in by providing angles for more gift cards to be put on the activation. And it's not just big box, but on the left is CVS, again, doing a nice job with utilizing their skinny tower, but not just the skinny tower, but having that oversized topper. So again, the brand logo comes to life of what's exactly on that activation. Kohl's, a nice skinny tower, and we saw this in a few different stores as well, a slim, slick look. And again, not just in these stores, but there on the right is Aldi. So that value grocery store making a big play with this giant temporary unit right at the checkout area. So as you're going to checkout, get that impulse for gift cards, even at Aldi. Now moving a little bit into the experience and food and entertaining at home or bringing something to a party that you're invited to. Here, Snyder's making this big statement with these hutches, and they have a couple different, actually 3 different variants that look like these traditional houses that bring that thought of a warm, cozy holiday home to life, with even the chimney and the wafts of smoke coming out the top. These all done up old school with the Christmas lights printed on them that just create that roofline look. And not only that, they have the end pieces with the icicles, and it just brings home that warm holiday home. And these are great treats and snacks and items that you should bring home to be part of your festive holiday celebrations. M&M's going a different path with that bold lobby-like display that, you know, just really has fun with their iconic characters kind of bouncing around with the lights strung around, and, you know, having fun with even their product, the green lifesaver hung upside down with the wreath, with the bow to be looking like an upside down wreath. Interesting to me, they didn't go with a standard holiday color. They utilized the red and green in here, but, you know, just hit it with that bold yellow stopping power. So that way, again, the shopper sees this. There's a great holiday feel to this, but boy, you just can't miss the bright yellow. And then it is a bold display that they're able to put their case stackers underneath and in, a bit modular in that aspect to fit the right height that they need to in the store, and utilizing the dimensional cutouts to really, you know, create a visually interesting and arresting activation. And then here on the Bisco train, literally done up is that train, holiday train, thinking of the Polar Express as such. Again, all the fun items that, again, to bring home for the holidays. And this one overstocked with Oreos. Probably some seasonal variants there with peppermint flavor to, you know, highlight that. So kind of a neat dimensional display that just stops people in their tracks as they enter the store. Into some beverage, San Pellegrino utilizing their green bottles to create a green tree, kind of a cool activation, permanent here, that just creates the Christmas tree look, and then utilizing the iconic logo and star to be that topper. Just a really nice, simple way of going about and creating a festive look and display. And then a lot of the wines there. This is Menage a Trois in a Target right near the checkout area. Again, that idea of all set to be picked up on your way to a party, et cetera, to bring as a host or hostess gift. Just really, you know, and utilizing that kind of street light look, holiday-ish look, thinking, you know, reminiscing of carolers, just a kind of a neat display. And as mentioned, you know, there's those items that are drop into the other category? And is that all those pieces for gift wrapping? And here, Scotch does a nice display that has loads of Scotch tape in it, set up in bins with windows so you can see in as this is selling down to still see what the product is. And then, as we've highlighted in a lot of our back-to-school audits, they did a great job here really calling out that this is America's favorite tape brand. In a spot where you could buy probably a whole host of private label tapes, etc. They're calling out that they're America's favorite, giving that shopper that, maybe I should pick this one up. It's going to be the best for me to make sure things are neatly wrapped, nicely tight, creates that great look for my loved one as I'm giving them a great wrap present. And then also various solution centers. We saw a number of large ones in the mass big box stores. I'm highlighting this one that again we saw in a Barnes and Noble that really captures the host of products from Hallmark to again make that gift look special. Whether that's the ribbons, the bows, the gift bag, the wrapping paper. And here they did a nice job really curating that whole color look so you can mix, match, and create that great piece. And the merchandiser does a great job bringing that together there for that kind of houses all these products together nicely. Now, talking a bit about an experience, and one of the biggest things we saw this holiday season, we saw the growth of 5.1%, and that was spread nicely across both brick and mortar and obviously online, digital growing. But very interestingly, this was a year where, as this Vice President of Moody's Investor Services said, that brick and mortars are finally realizing they need to be agnostic as to where they get the sale. It's just, we want the sale no matter where it comes from. This image in the background is Target, where they created this area of super large toys like the giant dump truck here. And again, talking about, well, you probably could pick it up right here or ready to buy. It can get it on Target.com. We all know they give a host of free shipping offers, etc. And you don't have to worry about bringing this bulky thing home in your car or trying to sneak it in so your kids don't see it. All sorts of ways where the retailers are definitely utilizing online and just get the sale. And here's some of the facts and figures from Deloitte on that 66% of people researched online and bought in store. 54% researched in store and purchased online, and then 45% bought online and picked up on store. So all of these mechanisms are definitely, they're here. The majority of people are using them. So it's a matter, and retailers are getting there about how do we bring this to life and accommodate the shopper so that we just close the sale ourselves. And the piece that obviously we're concerned about when we're talking in-store is, well, why in-store? Why is that still important so we can make sure we lever that? And the number one reason is people, and this is over 60% of the respondents said, the ability to interact with the product. Very critical there. Whether that's I'll show you some examples of electronics, toys, but I even think food, people love going to Costco, sampling, understanding what they're getting. That little bit adds a lot where they can utilize their senses where they can't necessarily online. There's obviously avoiding shipping costs is a big reason. But I also think the next two are pretty critical, and these are still numbers that are 40 to 50% of the time of respondents are saying that going in store gives me gift ideas and inspiration. We'll talk about inspiration later. And it's fun, festive, and it puts me in the holiday spirit. There still is that traditional aspect of getting out, socializing, being in that holiday spirit with things. So a few examples. Starting with some of the electronics and tech things, this This was in Best Buy Ember, the world's first temperature-controlled mug, high-tech. You probably, if you're looking this online, you might say, oh, that's cool, but it's a whole different thing when you get to see it, feel the quality, what's it about, experience it, and really understand what you're getting for what's, a lot more than your normal coffee mug to spend. A lot of the sound companies already have been doing a lot of this. An example of a new Sonos display in Best Buy where you can listen to the product. Again, you can say all you want online, and there's ratings and reviews, but it's a whole other thing if you can be right there and listen to the speaker and go, wow, this knocks my socks off. I got to bring this home. And as I mentioned, it's not just electronics, it's also toys. Here's a pallet in Walmart for Sunny Day where the whole little kit is set up there. You can try it and tinker around and understand what you're getting before you bring it home for your kids. This is a fun one, a Hot Wheels display, again in Barnes & Noble, highlighting, that idea of toys are now going into a variety of different channels, but just a fun display where the product is out, you see items, you can't play with them directly, but you can see the cars right there in the middle shelf right there, and it's also just fun with the iconic track forming the perimeter of the shelves that really brings you into, man, I remember this was the fun toy when I was a kid, that orange track in these cars that brings you right into it. And obviously not just sound and sight, but also smell. So here again, a palette at Walmart on fragrance where you can test the various scents right there and see which fragrance is the best one that I want to bring home or gift. So again, something you can't do online, and boy, as a shopper, you can and experience it and really help close the deal. So all about bringing that experience. And then finally, just some fun ones. Obviously, the trends of those holiday sweater days, ugly holiday sweaters, the fun food example of Lay's creating this reindeer that looks like a piñata on top, but the bottom part is it's printed like a knit sweater, one of those holiday sweaters, fun, festive, etc. And then the Miller Lite with the sweater there again, creating that, just like makes you just chuckle and laugh when you see it, and makes you think about that brand, and you stop at that display and go, maybe I should pick up a case. Value. So 82% of consumers are going to be influenced by promotions this holiday season, and 36% of purchases are going to be influenced by promotions. So we all know that. This is the latest facts and figures from Deloitte on this holiday season, so critical there. And no doubt we see that. Black Friday continues to be big, although I think as we have seen and the reports have shown that a lot of the sales are getting spread out more and more through the season and starting even at the beginning of November, but still there is that aspect of those deals and people coming to them. Here's Lowe's highlighting their Black Friday deals. They did a great job throughout the store with this theme, as well as in their out-of-store materials, digital materials, print materials, all around this theme, creating that uniform look for the shopper, so as they were either online or in-store, knew exactly what was the Black Friday deals. Bath & Body Works, we know they go on this model of buy gets, again, doing it great for holiday season and dressing the whole thing up with the reindeer on top and the evergreen all around it to really highlight, the holiday offers. And Walmart, as much as maybe they didn't necessarily call it out in terms of specifically holiday, but they always do that great job in Action Alley of calling the price points out very clearly throughout the store. Target, the gift cards, always a popular promotion and definitely leveraged in the holiday period. And normally it's the little, obviously they're in their ads and online, as well as the price channel tags that they add. But in this case here, even a floor stand, again, in Action Alley with a variety of baking goods, so that, again, buy $50 and you'll get a $10 gift card. The other piece of value I find is the idea of the retailer curating the products for the shopper. In this case, again, Target, using the holiday, the holly over the top, highlighting holiday, and a clear bullet saying $15 and under for all these gift items on this rack. So, you know, that curation critical. Shoppers want that assurance of, you know, this is a retailer chosen, it's a retailer favorite. Here is in the office channel, again, doing a great job at Office Depot with these bins right near the checkout, calling faves from under $5 or tech gear for under 10. Very clear to the shopper, some curated product that maybe that impulse item to pick up on the way out of the stores, an added gift item. Also, this is Office Depot utilizing the structures from back to school season with different pole toppers that bring the seasonality to life. But that same structure, you know, providing efficiencies for them. So a great way of doing that. And it's not just the retailers, brands, obviously all those toys, all those gadgets we're buying, we need batteries. So here's Energizer with the $5 reward called out. You can't miss it. It's clear as day, 3 times on one side of the pallet and again on the other side that there's a $5 reward here. And this is a sharp activation by Tile, a beautiful floor stand in Best Buy, nice clean lines. They do a great job of merchandising the product on pegs below and utilizing the top that's right at eye level for communication. And in this case, they do a great job of both lifestyle imagery to see what the product is doing, what it's helping you find, and then on the second panel, on the second side, the nice graphic chart highlighting the features of the different products that they have on this floor stand. And as well, on the back side, it's loaded with Google Home Minis, because in this case, the offer is get 2 Tile devices and you get a free Google Home Mini. So a neat partnership to, you know, drive this product and provide, again, that value, that promotion that, again, makes somebody go, a couple of these great gift items, and I get it. There's a Google Home Mini on top of it. A nice promotional deal. Moving into inspiration. Why we talked earlier that this is one of the key things of why people like to come to stores and shop in brick and mortar, is to provide a bit of that holiday feel, holiday inspiration. And another question in Deloitte, another key reason is when people are going out shopping, 51% have planned to buy specific items, but the other 49% or half don't have specific items in mind. 30% will have a category selected, but still not the exact item or brand, and almost 20% doesn't have even, it's completely unplanned. So huge opportunity to obviously inspire that shopper to your brand to pick it up, buy it, be that item that they're going to gift or bring home as part of their entertaining, or bring that home or bring that to a party or social event they're going to. These couple of pictures I love, they're depicted here, are Meijer. So they did a nice job bringing their set to life with these Christmas trees, outdoor, snow-covered, lit, but just using corrugate to create that look by having that different layers there. And the first image I showed there was on their header cards for the department, and on key focal end caps, they use even a larger tree, again, creating that just great magical, mystical look that, calls out the holidays. Really nice inspiration, again, for the shopper that gets them in that festive spirit. This is also, Myra, and in a partnership here with Hasbro, of creating this toy shop right at the front entrance of the store. So again, toy department and toy companies really driving to pull in those sales with Toys R Us shuttering their doors. So here, creating this store within a store, little toy shop with games, with toy items, etc., creating that sense of wonder, again, right as you're walking in the door to Meijer, using some of the fun things, spelling out joy, but using the Scrabble tiles to give you that fun, again, reminiscent of what you've grown up with games playing, and maybe I should purchase this for my family and kids now. And utilizing, again, a lot of the iconic characters from the games and toys in that dimensional header, utilizing the snow and that store kind of look, store-ish kind of wall look to create that old toy shop. Getting back to Harry Potter, again at Barnes & Noble, I showed the simpler activation earlier. This is one, again, creating that, they created a bit of scale with a few of these in the store, and this one particularly, that fun of the iconic logo of Harry Potter right there, and using the illustrations that hark back to the book covers, nicely merchandising the product on all four sides, and even kind of with the bottom of this, giving it with the angles and all, almost that castle-like feel as well. So really kind of that cool, inspiring look for Harry Potter shoppers. Again, Barnes & Noble utilizing the fun Dr. Seuss characters. Again, the movies are out, but the book here, really trying to sell the books, but creating that fun look with those characters that we all know and love, and that the kids are now knowing and loving from the recent movies, but again, bringing them back to the original book is really sharp here. In the food and beverage area, obviously alcohol companies will go all out, Absolute in this case with the tree, the snowflake, but also what I wanted to really call out in these next couple were lighting. We've seen this as a key trend as the cost of LED lights have come down. The low power usage enables them to be used in a lot of different activations, and from permanent all the way into temporary, because they don't need a lot of power. Battery packs can power them. They create a lot of stopping power. So here, Absolute, with their lit up logo as well as the lighting on the snowflake. And Angry Orchard also doing the same thing. Again, these are activations on top of the refrigerator, so they're quite high. They're meant to be seen from afar that draw you in. Again, with a lit logo, though, that really helps pop in that darker area above the refrigerator case. A fun one at Target. I think shape is something that can really be utilized to stand out. In this case, as they had this out in the last couple of weeks before Christmas, this little three-sided shoppable Christmas tree that is all stocking stuffer items, calls it out of all health and beauty products, all travel trial size, those little trinkets to pop in. Everybody needs that toothbrush or a travel size toothpaste, you'll feel good about it. Giving it to your kids because it's something healthy they need anyway, but pop it in the stocking, and it's in this case, Target had put this little guy around there in the beauty department, and I was lucky. Most of the time I tried to get around, it was surrounded by people, and I finally got a small window to snap this shot. This is one that I actually took. And then creating that inspiration again, coming back to Walmart, highlighting that they're the best toy shop, and they created this giant arch right at the focal point center of the toy area. So again, as you're walking down Action Alley, you can't miss that this is the toy shop, the place to come to fill your gifting needs, and this fun activation. It uses some of the characters from the toys themselves, and that fun house, it looks like Santa's house or toy shop up the North Pole. And then Target always does it well as well. Just this kind of overall shot showcasing a couple of the sections. Their tree section, which is always neatly arranged, but nicely, having the lights hanging above hanging signs, but just creating that festive look, even though they're not lit themselves, but looks like that tree lot type of look and feel. They've this year for gifting used these permanent displays on wheels that they could move to different locations, but they dressed them out with temporary materials, creating again that festive look with gifting messaging on them. And as you see drifting down the Wonder Shop, as they really term the whole Christmas area, again, they're masters at creating that look and feel that does create that wonder and inspiration for someone that drives them back to that mini seasonal area, and just kind of, it's just holiday when you wander around back there and experience it. So a really cool of how they pull it all together. So kind of hitting that 40-minute mark. To summarize, know your objective. In that I mean is really understand clearly what you're going after. Is it gifting? What's happening with the trends in your particular category? What is, or if it's into other areas of that social environment, bringing something to a party. Is it bringing something from me hosting a party or hosting my family? And really driving your activation to bring that to life so the shopper gets it quick, simple, etc. Is key. Drive experience. Think about those ways. They're in a physical environment. Engage all their senses. That's why they love to go to the store environment. So take advantage of that. Their shoppers are looking for that. Think conversion. Talking about those values. What's the key messages on your display that drives that home? Again, I hark back to that tile display. It wasn't a price discount, and value doesn't have to be that. It's finding those right promotions that are going to drive the overall experience and give the shopper a sense of that value doesn't have to be price, but that non-price value. And finally, inspire. Again, this is a holiday season where people are looking to to be brought into the mood. They want to have fun. It should be about fun. We all know it's hectic. Shopping sometimes may be that task. Well, make them feel that it is fun, and they're going to want to engage with your product all the more and engage with your display, and with the end result of driving your sales. So think of it in that fashion. So a couple of things I will say as we close up. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. A couple of things to say. You will get an email from me that just, again, thanks you for attending. A couple of things, if you can, provide any feedback. I would love feedback on this webinar. I can definitely, and we have done this in the past, we've taken any feedback to heart and applied that and driven that into future webinars. Would love to have your feedback so we can continue to improve and make these worthwhile for you. Secondly, these images and what I showed here and brought into the 40 minutes is the tip of the iceberg. As I mentioned, we saw over 800 activations. If you want to learn more about the particular category you're in, toys, consumer electronics, food, beverage, etc., or a particular channel, if it's more into home improvement, definitely reach out to me, and we have a lot more information. The other thing is, from this audit, and I only touched on a couple of them, is we have a lot of again, in those individual categories, we can get to various statistics around the type of imagery, the type of structures that were most popular, and give you various percentages. Because we've seen with like consumer electronics, for example, we audited over 120 different unique activations, so we can begin to put different percentages on them. So if you have a specific around some of those things, definitely reach out for a particular category, and we can dive into it more. I am happy to. So definitely want to be here to help meet any of the challenges that you may have. With that, and I don't have any questions on there unless someone's got a last minute one they want to sneak in, I will close out. Again, you can use the email too. If something pops up in your head, 15 minutes afterwards, which happens to me a lot, definitely don't hesitate to respond to the email that you get later this afternoon and ask me. I'm definitely willing to do my best and provide a good answer for you. So want to thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and all have a great day.